Okay, good morning, and thank you to all for in attendance today. I'd like to call the meeting of the November 28th County Land Division Committee to order. I would like to make note that what will be shown on the screen, if you're lucky, for those viewing at home, is our remote meeting platform, whereby whoever is speaking will be showing predominantly with smaller images of the members and staff attending along the edge of the screen. The agenda for this meeting hearing has been posted online at perthcounty.ca. If you want to follow along, please feel free to access it now. I will remind all committee members, staff, and any others participating in the meeting to please mute your microphones when not in use to reduce the feedback. At this meeting, as this meeting is being held remotely, the Secretary Treasurer will call each of the members' names, and each member will respond if they are in favor or opposed to the motion, and the Chair will announce the result of the vote. Before we proceed, we'll confirm the attendance of the committee members by a roll call.
Chair McKenzie.
Here.
Warden Aitchison.
Here.
Deputy Warden Eggets.
Here.
Councillor Duncan.
Here.
And it looks like Councillor Hurlick is not here, and I didn't receive any regrets, so he may join.
Okay, very good. So that motion is carried. We're one member short, apparently. So the first item then is confirmation of the agenda, and that motion is that the November 28th, 2022 agenda be approved. Do we have a mover and seconder for that? Moved by Warden Aitchison, second by Deputy Warden Eggets. And again, I'll let you take the vote.
Warden Aitchison.
Yes.
Deputy Warden Eggets.
Yes.
Councillor Duncan.
Yes.
And Chair McKenzie.
Yes. So that is carried. Thanks, Michelle. Does anybody have a conflict of interest with any item on the agenda this morning? Okay, I don't see any hands going up. So the adoption of the previous minutes, and the motion that I have here is that Land Division Committee approve the minutes from the October 31st, 2022 Land Division Committee meeting. Do we have a mover and seconder for that motion? Moved by Councillor Duncan and seconded by Deputy Warden Eggets. And Michelle, I'll let you take the vote again, please.
Warden Aitchison.
Yes.
Deputy Warden Eggets.
Yes.
Councillor Duncan.
Yes.
Chair McKenzie.
Yes. So that motion is carried. Thank you. So it brings us down to item number 5 and the hearing of applications for consent. And the first application for consent to sever is number B36/22 by Gerhardus and Tanya Steenbeek. And I'm going to let Puni walk us through this as our planner for the county. So Puni, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair McKenzie and committee members. My apologies for my voice. With your permission, I will share my screen for the presentation. All right, can everybody see this?
Yep, looks good, Puni, looks
Excellent.
good.
Thank you so much. So today I'm presenting to you the consent application for a surplus farm dwelling submitted by Gerhardus and Tanya Steenbeek. Application number is B3622. The property is located on 5962 Line Road 2. It is within the township of Perth South. It is located on the northeast side of Highway 23 and Line 2. It's on the east side of Highway 23. On the west side is County of Huron. The land use designation on this site is agricultural and natural resource environment. The proposed several lot will fall within the agricultural designation, and the retained lot will fall within the agricultural and natural resource environment designation. The land is zoned agriculture and NRE2. The proposed several lot would fall within the agricultural zone, and the proposed retained lot will fall within the agricultural and natural resource environment. The adjacent lands to the property from the north, east, and south have similar land use designation and zoning. So I'd like to discuss the proposal for this surplus farm dwelling. The owners of this property currently own another farm parcel with their primary residence on that farm. So since this house is considered surplus to their farming operation, they would like to request for a severance of this parcel. This parcel would include their two-story single detached dwelling, accessory structures, including a frame shed, woodshed furnace, and a garage, all within the same cluster. And I'm showing the boundaries of this parcel with, a red flag here. It is bound by the septic system on the west. You see the garage on the east of the lot, and the garden and the trees all are on the back of the lot, which is on the north of the subject site. Those tall trees have been minimum in existence for minimum of 22 years, according to our GIS mapping. The barn on the east side is to be removed. It's one of the conditions. And the shape is irregular. I'd like to discuss about that because there is a triangular area on the north west side of the property. And that area is eliminated to ensure that there is as minimal area as possible to be allocated to the severed parcel. Also, the northeastern parcel, the barn and the immediate open space is removed as well, which makes this lot a bit irregular in shape. The planning department believes the area shown is appropriate given the location of the servicing and accessory structures on that lot. The retained lot would have a lot area of approximately 40.3 hectares. There are no site alterations or development proposed on either the retained or severed lots. So as for the public engagement, we received 2 correspondence so far. One is from the MTO. Their original request was for the applicant to remove the access from Highway 23. But since the applicant, it is essential for their farming operation to have that access from Highway 23, which has been existing for a number of years. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to really access the northern part of their retained parcel, which is all farmed appropriately. Therefore, they requested further revisions by the MTO. They agreed to change the recommendation, the condition, so that they would all just requiring an access permit from Highway 23. So that will be changed if it is approved at the committee today. The second correspondence is from Mr. Lighton. The letter that I received is, there are 2 main areas touched by Mr. Lighton. One is that it is suggested that the criteria is not consistently applied across all applications. The concern is with regards to the area containing the gardens and the windbreaks on the subject land. Also, it is regarding Mr. Lighton's own SFD application, in which the department recommended revisions related to the large area of open space on the proposed severed lot. He worked through some revisions with the staff for alternative lot configuration and a location for a new septic system. The planning department was awaiting adequate justification for the size of the septic system, but a letter of withdrawal was received in April of 2021 prior to its being presented to the Land Division Committee. I would like to state that each consent application is reviewed and analyzed on the site-specific circumstances, and the same criteria set by the provincial policy statement and official plan of Perth County is applied on all consent applications that planning department receives. So after further review of this consent application and considering all relevant policies which would affect this land, and also deliberating on the public concern, the planning department is of the belief that the application is consistent with the provincial policy statement and the applicable policies set by the Perth County official plan. Thank you. With this, I conclude my presentation. I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you very much, Puni. If you can unshare your screen now for a second, I can see everybody here, hopefully. Good, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions for Puni with regards to this application? I just go ahead, Deputy Warden Nagels.
Maybe not a question, but a comment. I understand why you put the lines where you did, but I think it's too big. We just had one in North Perth. I think it was a couple meetings ago. We made them shrink it. And here we are making this one huge. I realize some of the land may not ever be farmed, but it's still, I have trouble supporting this that when it's so big.
Okay, thanks, Rhonda. Anybody else? I have maybe one question, and it's kind of spurred out of the letter there. The well that's marked on the sketch that you had there, and I think there's only one well marked on there, so I'm assuming that that's a well that they're actively using. It's not just a dug well that's an old well that's located there. It's an actual usable well that is currently being used, I assume.
As far as I know, yes, it is being used currently, yes.
It's the only one that I noticed. Like quite often, if there's an older well, it would show up as another well, but I didn't see anything else on the sketch, so I assume that that's the current one that they use. Rhonda, go ahead.
And what about the well beside the house?
Is there?
Beside the house, and then there's one up by the garden. So which one are they using?
Okay, so there is one right beside the house then. I haven't got the sketch in front of me. I'm sorry, I'm so ill prepared here this morning. I thought I was prepared, but I'm not.
Yeah, well, there's a well marked between the driveway and the house. Then there's the other well up by the barn.
Well, see, I guess where I'm coming from, the one well that is kind of located at the top of the sketch there, if that happens to be a dug well, it wouldn't be that important, and you could shrink the back line back a bit, but if that's a usable well, then you want that to stay with the property. So maybe, I'm not sure, maybe we just need some more clarification. I don't know. Jim, you're maybe more familiar with this property than anybody, are you? Oh, you're muted, Jim. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe forgot. Yeah, the one that's back by the garden, I'm not 100% sure about. And I know when this come to our council a little while ago, we looked at this and we thought it was a bit big, but then we could shrink the back a little bit. But at some point in time, if they want to go to geothermal here, they're going to need that little piece at the back, because, and that's where the government's pushing everybody to right now, is geothermal. And to the left of the house, looking at the screen, that's the septic system, so you can't chop that off.
No.
And the right side's pretty well shrunk down as far as we can get it. And that back, there is quite a, there's 3 rows of trees back there. So if you don't include it with the property, chances are they may disappear.
Okay.
But it is a well-treed lot, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, and the reason that Lutons are kind of opposing this, because they wanted to do one that was considerably bigger, and they wanted an acre left to the one side for their septic system, and that was alluded to in the presentation here, that there was no justification for needing that much space for the septic system, right? Because they were talking about a new septic system. So we shrunk it down to slightly less size than this one, and they objected to it. They withdrew their application.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Anybody else with any other comments? Okay, I guess we've got a couple options here. I have a motion and I can read it, or if you would want you want that other well that's there maybe clarified, we could defer it for additional information, but I don't know if anybody wants to indicate the direction you want to go. I can read the motion here now if you would wish.
Chair Mackenzie,
And-
would you like me
yes.
to see if Tanya would like to add to?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, she's on the line, isn't she? Yes,
She is.
she's here. Yeah, yes, let's give her an opportunity to speak. Sorry.
And she's put her hand up as well, I see. So
Excellent.
yes, I will add her in.
Sure, good.
Okay. Here she comes.
Okay, okay, we got everybody here by the looks of it. Good morning and welcome to our Land Division Committee meeting. I guess as you maybe have heard, there's a bit of a discussion with regards to the second well on the property. So if you would like to comment or clarify that or anything else that you may have heard with regards to your application, by all means, feel free to do it at this time.
Yeah, so the second well, so there's one well close to the house, and that is a drilled well. And then the second well is a dug well, but that dug well is functional right now. So like both wells are available, and we don't live at that address. We live just down the road. Like the people that live there, they prefer the water from the shallow well, from the dug well. So like we do have both wells connected right now. So.
And with
Okay.
the trees
Yep,
to the
go ahead.
north, sorry, the issue with the trees to the north, I don't know, you can see it, there's another piece that has additional trees that would be part of our retained property, but we would have no access to that. Like to not even be able to cut grass if the trees remain, we would have no access into that land other than through the severed property. It's kind of our other
Okay.
that.
Okay. Any questions with regards to what the Steve Beeks have said at this time? Okay. All right. I want to thank you for your comments. Certainly helps when you can add a little bit of detail when we have a question or a concern. If there's no further questions, then I have a recommendation here, and I'll read it, and we'll decide where we go from here, unless I don't see any hands going up. So the recommendation is that the Perth County Land Division Committee receives the application for consent to sever surplus farm residence number B36/22 report, and the Perth County Land Division Committee approve the application for consent to sever surplus farm residence number B36/22 by Gerhardus and Tanya Steenbeek, and affecting the lands described as part of Lot 20, Concession West Boundary, Blanchard Ward, 5962, line 20 or line 2, Township of Perth South, with the following conditions. And there's 13 conditions there. And with your permission, I won't read them all. You had them in front of you for the weekend to see what those ones were. Go ahead, Sally. Sorry.
I just wanted to make sure on your resolution that you know the change in the condition from MTO, if you're
Yes,
supportive of the
that-
application.
That was number 13, I think, of the conditions, right? I believe.
Mhm.
Okay, yep, everybody's nodding their hands that they're aware of it, which is not uncommon for MTO to do that now when they have an opportunity. Okay, so that is the motion. Do we have somebody that would be willing to move and second it? Moved by Warden Aitchison and seconded by Councillor Duncan. Okay, and I will let you take the vote. Michelle.
Warden Aitchison,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Agats,
No,
Councillor Duncan,
Yes.
Chair Mackenzie.
Yes, it is a little larger severance than what we're accustomed to, but having the explanation, I think we go with it. So that motion is carried. So thank you very much. I guess the next is under reports, and we have the consent file status report. for November. And I will let you update us on that.
Great. So as of November 21st, we had no new consent applications from our last report. We have 8 applications that are currently in process and 3 applications that have been approved through the delegated authority process. No applications had received the final approval for which a certificate of official was issued. There are 8 applications that are on hold. B36 for noseworthy, B3621 for noseworthy is on hold until the SFD housekeeping zoning bylaw amendment is implemented, which one of our planners is currently working on. The other 7 are on hold until the applicant and or their solicitor can prepare additional studies or materials that are required. Does anybody have any questions?
You got a question, Matt? I saw your hand moving. I'm not sure. Okay. Thank
No,
you.
I'm okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else with any questions? Okay, then I have a recommendation here that Perth County Land Division Committee receives the consent file status report. So do we have a mover and seconder for that? Moved again by Warden Aitchison and seconded by Deputy Warden Agats. Okay, so we'll conduct the vote on that.
Warden Aitchison,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Agats,
Yes.
Councillor Duncan,
Yes.
Chair McKenzie.
Yes, so that motion is carried. I don't believe that we have any correspondence for this morning. And we have no appeals. Do we have any other business?
Not that I know.
Okay, thank you. And I don't believe that we have a closed session or anything coming out. Sally, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't get it quick enough under other business. I just wanted to thank
No.
everybody for their mindful work that they do in this committee. And I guess we'll have committees reestablished over the next council meeting. But I wanted to thank this group for the work they've done over the last year. Thank you.
Good, thank you, Sally. And I think I can probably speak for all our members here that we certainly appreciate the work that the planning staff do, including sending out Zoom links at the very last minute when the chair can't find it. But certainly appreciate the work that you're doing. And the last year especially, there has been a lot of applications and I think the general public appreciates the attempts that we have to speed them through fairly quickly, with some of them being delegated for approval, fairly quickly, I would say. The next item then is our next meeting date, and I have down here December the 19th. So that, well, as Sally indicated, could be some new members on that committee. We'll wait and see. So other than that, I don't know if anybody has any year-end comments at this time or not. If not, if you do, you can put your hand up. If not, we'll move right on for a motion to adjourn and I have about 10 o'clock or 2 minutes to 10 according to my watch here. So if we have somebody that would like to move and second that, would be great. Councillor Duncan, thank you, moves. And do we have a seconder? Deputy Warden Agats. Very good. Okay, I'll let you conduct the final vote of this meeting.
Warden Aitchison,
Yes.
Deputy Warden Agats,
Yes.
Councillor Duncan,
Yes.
and Chair McKenzie.
Yes, so we are adjourned. That was carried. So very good. And I really, again, apologize again for the problems that I had getting on, whatever it was. Well, I'm not sure if it was my laptop or if it's our Quadro Communications that was giving me the hassle here. But anyways, very good. Very
I've
good.
had Zoom emails disappear and then you can screw around